This is class notes, section 8.7, example number 5. So, the formula to calculate n choose k items is that you take n factorial, that's the number in front of the c, over k factorial, the number behind the c, times n minus k factorial. And then you do those calculations, and that will give you the answer. So let's look at the first one. So this is 7 choose 5. So this is the n, and this is the k. So the formula says that you start with n factorial. So n factorial would be 7 factorial over k factorial, which is 5 factorial, times n minus k factorial, which is 7 minus 5, close parentheses, factorial. Now, the numerator is going to stay 7 factorial. The denominator is going to be 5 factorial times 7 minus 5 is 2 factorial. Now, in the numerator, I have 7 factorial, which I'm going to rewrite as 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. All over the denominator, I have 5 factorial times 2 factorial, but I'm not going to write 2 factorial. 2 factorial is just 2 times 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. Now I'm ready to reduce. The 5 factorials reduce, and 6 and the 2 reduces. The 2 is gone, and the 6 becomes a 3. And then 7 times 3 is 21. So the answer is 21. All right, let's go to B. So this is 12 choose 10. Again, the 12 is the n, and the 10 is the k, and we're going to use the formula. I don't really even remember the formula. The first one goes on top, the second number goes on the bottom, and then the bottom gets multiplied by the difference of the two. So I get 12 factorial over 10 factorial times 12 minus 10 factorial. And then that gives me 12 factorial over 10 factorial times 12 minus 10 is 2 factorial. And the 12 factorial I'm going to rewrite as 12 times 11 times 10 factorial over 10 factorial times 2 factorial, but 2 factorial is 2 times 1, which is 2. Now I'm ready to reduce. The 10 factorial and the 10 factorial reduce. The 2 and the 12 reduces to 2 and 6. And 6 times 11 is 66, and 66 is the answer. Now, the next two problems are asking the exact same thing. They're just in a different form. So this leaves the c out and has this parentheses here, and the 8 is our n, and the 3 is the k, and then it's the exact same. So it's 8 factorial over 3 factorial times 8 minus 3 factorial. In the numerator, that stays 8 factorial over 3 factorial times 5 factorial. In the numerator, that's 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. Notice I stopped at 5 factorial because I want to cross out the biggest factorial I can. And then in the denominator I have 3 factorial, but 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. 3 times 2 is 6 times 1 is 6. So I'm going to rewrite 3 factorial as 6 times 5 factorial, and I'm ready to reduce. So when I reduce this, the 5 factorials reduce, and the 6's reduce, and 8 times 6 is 56, and that's the answer. And the last one of these, remember that the 9 is the n and the 1 is the k, and then using our formula, we're going to get 9 factorial over 1 factorial times 9 minus 1 factorial. So that'll be 9 factorial over 1 factorial times 8 factorial. And then that'll be 9 factorial over 1 factorial is 1 times 8 factorial. I don't do anything with that. Sorry, let's go back. The 9 factorial I'm going to rewrite as 9 times 8 factorial over 1 times 8 factorial. The 8 factorial reduces, and I get 9 over 1, which is just 9, and that's the answer. And that's how we find combinations.